I have a cold again, you fricks.
No.
I know.
Did you try not having a cold?
I did not try not having a cold. Let's make a podcast.
Hello, and welcome to WayTooBroad.
I want just that to be the cold open. Just yelling, let's make a podcast. And then it starts.
Hello, and welcome to WayTooBroad, a place for friends to talk about things they're really, really ridiculously excited about.
To make a podcast!
To make a podcast!
A place for friends to make a podcast!
For grown-ups. Okay. I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben. Hi, screaming
Did you say
Erin.
Erin or
Hello.
Ben?
Erin or Ben.
I thought I would scream so Ben knows what screaming is. See last episode for details. Hi, Ben.
Hello. Stop screaming.
That's true. No, that's Ben. Was that A, screaming, or B, not screaming?
B, final answer.
No, that's incorrect.
Ben has had a lot of electrical engineering PhD homework and tests. He doesn't have time to learn what is and what is not screaming. Cut him a break.
Just seems
Cut
like that would
me
be
a
an easy
break.
one. Cut him a break.
Cut him a break.
So,
What are you fricks drinking?
oh shit! I knew I forgot something. Who's first? Erin, what are you drinking?
Oh, what am I drinking? How nice to be asked. I have two items here in front of me that are consumable beverages. The first is a quart of iced water. I'm
Oh,
gonna take a sip of that. That's a Ben Brown special.
yep.
Although, I say that, but Ben Brown takes crushed ice in his cup of iced water, and I take a whole
I
ice.
like both. I don't have the option
Oh,
at
you
home,
do.
so I have whole ice here.
Okay, so when you were at my house, you're just going bonanza. You were like, oh, what do I feel like? Oh, I don't know.
Well, I eat it
Ooh.
after. I gotta have that crushed.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
true.
You know that ice that you can only get at fast food
Yes.
places that is like pills,
Yeah.
and it's like
Oh,
it's like
it's beautiful.
it's like ice sponges, and it just crunches like you're eating like cereal,
Yeah.
but it's ice.
Yep.
I love that.
Y'all are making my teeth hurt. Okay, the other item I have is spiked hot chocolate.
Ooh, spiked with Bailey's.
Little Bailey's, little Kirsch.
Oh, like a Black Forest hot chocolate.
Black Forest Gateau hot chocolate.
Yep, that's exactly right. And I use half hot chocolate mix and half unsweetened cocoa powder, so it's like chocolatey as fuck, motherfuckers, and not very sweet. Yeah, it's real intense. Very good. I had to describe it intensely for you to get an idea about how intense it is.
Yeah, unsweetened cocoa powder. That's that real shit.
Yeah, and milk. So it's all just like creamy and dark and a little sweet and then very alcoholic. Whoops. I kind of had a heavy hand in that part.
Baby Ben, what are you drinking?
I got me some ice water. I also got a still warm empty mug that had French vanilla hot chocolate in it.
Hey!
What?
Yeah, I don't know. We got... yeah, it does sound weird. It was good, though.
Well,
was,
it literally does not sound like you should be calling it hot chocolate. I mean, that's like a French hot vanilla.
It's still chocolate, though.
It's not.
Things can be
though.
chocolate and
Yeah,
vanilla,
it's
Hannah.
chocolate.
Have you heard of a swirl?
It was it chocolate or was it vanilla?
It was chocolate. They're not... They can both exist at the same time
They
in
could be
one
the
thing.
same. It's not like one flavor, expels the other flavor.
I mean,
like
but it's sort of like, unless you're talking about ice cream, I get it in ice cream, okay? But like, if you take a chocolate vanilla swirl and you let it melt in a cup, what you have is something that tastes like chocolate.
It was mostly chocolate with some subtle vanilla aftertaste.
All right. Sounds like chocolate to me.
Vanilla bean is a flavor that can like come through in chocolate. Paul Hollywood.
Exactly. And then it's still chocolate.
It was
Well, that's
good.
why he said it was a French vanilla hot chocolate.
I guess.
I didn't say it was a French vanilla, hot French vanilla. Come on.
Listeners, please weigh in on this. All right.
I didn't say
We'll
it was
get
a
that. We'll
chocolate
pick this back
flavored
up
hot
next
French
week.
vanilla.
Well, that sounds nice, Ben. Hey, we're both drinking hot chocolate. Hannah just feels fucking left out because we're drinking. We texted before our program and said, let's drink hot chocolate and make Hannah feel really fucking left
This
out.
is a friggin' earnband
Yeah,
thing.
quick reminder,
This
go
is
to
earnband all
earnband.com
over.
for anything you need.
Yeah, we posted it up on www.earnband.com. Hey, everyone, drink hot chocolate tonight. Okay, cool. Don't tell Hannah.
I should have checked. I should always check.
I have a suggestion for Ben.
Yeah.
Why don't you get bigger cups? You're always just out of the beverage that you're drinking. Why not?
about.
Look at this cup of water. You'd never. This is a quart. You would never drink.
How many How many ounces are in a quart?
It says so right here. That's the great thing about drinking out of mason jars. It says it right here. 24. Well, this must be 28. I think like about 30.
Oh my god.
You would never drink
It's
that, Ben.
32 ounces.
It's about 30. You would never drink that, Ben. Look at this. You'd never drink that.
Yeah, I probably
It sounds
should.
like a dare. What?
I don't know how many this is. Probably like...
Ben just has the tiniest little cups.
This
He's
is
always thirsty.
tiny. It's pretty big.
That's small. Your hand's very big. That's what 16 ounces.
Yeah,
I
probably.
have 34. I have 32 ounces of water. You would never drink that.
About.
I have about 30 ounces of water. You would never drink that. Hashtag bigger cups for Ben. Let's make that go viral.
Hashtag bigger cups for Ben. Do you want to know what I'm drinking?
What are you
No.
drinking, Hannah?
Well, one of you wants to know, so I'm going to tell you. I'm having a smaller sort of mason jar full of
How
not
many
ice
ounces
water.
is that? That's about 8. I'd say that's 9 ounces of water.
I don't think so.
You
I
would
think
never
it's
drink
about
that.
6. I would never drink 9 ounces. I think it's about 16 ounces.
Well, this cup is 16 ounces, but it's half full. It's a little over half full.
What cup?
A mason jar is 16 ounces.
I thought.
We just
Okay.
learned it was 32.
No,
Yeah.
a quart. This is a quart. A tiny mason jar like the one you're drinking is 16 ounces.
Then it's about
Which
six-
is 2
I
cups.
half.
I see.
And it's half full. It's like a little over half full.
I get
so I think
you.
it's 9 ounces.
So yeah, and I drank most of it. No, half of it already. I've been so thirsty. Like for the past 2 days, I can't. I finished all of our seltzer. It's the only reason that I'm drinking just flat out water.
I have a suggestion for you, Hannah. Bigger cups. Hashtag bigger cups for Hannah. You never drink that. Look at this. This is about 30 ounces of water. You never drink that.
Oh my god, what kind of idiots are we, Ben?
I know, we'd
the
never
time.
drink that.
We'd never drink that. My other
What else
drink,
you got?
is graciously provided by Ian, producer Ian, my husband, is a little bit of beer.
Ooh.
It's only a little bit because, as I mentioned to you before we started recording, I've taken like a bunch of drugs today for my cramps, so I can't really drink a lot. Cramps, but it's raspberry beer.
Mm.
It's a
How many ounces?
It's a raspberry wheat beer
Mm.
from Garrison Brewing, and where are they based? I have to wonder. Ian,
Has the bottle in front of her.
It doesn't say. Where's this place that they made this beer?
It probably says. Her camera's moving.
Canada, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, he's texting me.
Ben just
It's
said it.
Halifax in Canada.
Can confirm it is Nova Scotia.
How many ounces is that?
I mean, this whole thing was
12.
Probably.
That's a 12 ounce.
Yeah. So this. I don't know. Less.
That looks to be about 4 ounces to my eye.
Sounds good. Sounds great. So, but it's really, really, really good. I don't even really like raspberry that much, and it's very raspberry-y, but it's like refreshing. It's like a beer that I would drink if I was insatiably thirsty, which I am. Gosh, you made me cry, and it made me all stuffed up.
And it's making you even more thirsty.
Everything makes me thirsty.
Why are you so thirsty?
I don't know, man. It's really...
It's that dry winter air.
Yeah, I think it probably is, actually.
We're supposed to get a lot of snow on Sunday.
You know, I was thinking about this, actually. Now that we're in 3 different geographical regions of the country of the United States of America, we could drop our current format and we could just be a weather podcast.
Yeah, we should.
Do you guys want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
It rained really fucking hard the last 2 days here.
Oh my god,
Like,
it's
heaven.
happening.
Like, really hard. And we got a flash flood warning, like, all day yesterday. And my fucking shoes and
not-
socks got all wet.
Look,
From the
okay.
floods?
Yeah, from floods.
Because the flood flashed you.
Yeah.
Look, I have it on recorded record that you're like, oh, it's never gonna rain. I'm so sad. It could rain for the rest of my life and I'd be happy. And then you're like, complaining that your shoes get wet. What do you think happens when it
I
rains,
didn't
Ben?
complain, I just said it happened.
You're right. You didn't complain. You had a tone.
I mean, I didn't like my shoes getting wet, but it wasn't the rain's
Yeah.
fault. It was my fault
That does
for
suck.
wearing canvas shoes in the rain.
That does suck. I feel you.
Absolutely does sound like your fault.
Welcome to WayTooBroad, a place for adults, grown-ups to talk about weather.
Yeah.
How's the weather out there, Hannah?
Okay, so this morning when I came outside, it had snowed just a little bit, just a dusting.
Hey!
Just a little bit.
and my car. So my old car had some snow on it, but my new car, which has like this fancy like coating on it to stop everything from sticking to it, instead had tiny droplets of ice all over it. Like it
Oh.
looked like it was just like had just been sprayed by a hose, but they were all frozen.
Or diamond dots.
Yeah, or diamond dots. Yeah.
Or Dippin' Dots.
Erin, when is it gonna snow for you?
Well, down here in North Carolina, it says 5 to 8 inches of snow possible on Sunday. So we just got our Christmas tree tonight because I said to Molly, I simply will not be snowed in without a Christmas tree. and we're doing all our Christmas shopping tomorrow and getting all the supplies we need for being snowed in, like pancakes. Well, we're not buying pancakes at the store. We're getting supplies to make pancakes. So I gotta buy pre-made pancakes. Can you even buy those? I guess you can buy them frozen.
Yeah, eggs, bread, milk, and pre-made pancakes. Those are the things.
Hell
for a
yeah.
snowstorm. Yeah, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I think for 5 inches, they probably wouldn't even put a delay on my work.
Yeah, absolutely everything's canceled. Like, they will probably cancel school on Monday because it's supposed to maybe snow on Sunday. Like, that's how North Carolina operates. It's awesome. It's awesome, y'all.
Cool. All right. Well, that was our new, now what we need is, well, Ben's kind of we kind of need someone in the Northwest who can keep us updated on the weather up there. And then we could check with Rachel about the Midwest weather. And then we'd have the whole country pretty much covered.
Yeah,
Except
so
Texas.
we're seeking applications for a fourth co-host. Don't have to be funny or interesting. You just have to know about the weather in the Northwest.
Don't even have to stay for the whole recording. Just talk about the
just-
weather
yeah.
at the beginning.
Yeah, just the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, and then, yeah. So anyway, applications. We're accepting
Open.
applications, WayTooBroad@gmail.com.
Just send us your resume.
And a cover
And your
letter.
GPS coordinates.
yeah. Let's see. What who's got up front stuff? I've just forgotten how to do this tonight. I'm just like a mess. I'm a complete mess.
Oh, I have a couple things. Second season of Mrs. Maisel is out. I haven't started it yet, though.
Nor have I. You
You
finished
finished it,
Holy
Hannah?
shit.
How was it?
It was great.
Okay, good.
I have to tell you, this is not a spoiler. There are a couple of scenes that I found. I know the whole thing is a little bit like, it's not supposed to be a hyper realistic show or anything, but and I had this experience with the first season too, but like sometimes the way she ends up doing stand up I find to be so absurd that it kind of takes me out of it. Like there are lots of times when she's just doing gigs, and that's like, yeah, obviously. But then there are other times when like she just spontaneously starts like doing a whole set, and I'm like, no one would have let you do that. Like, I don't care how charming you are, like that's not what would be happening right now. And it just kind of like takes me out of it, you know?
Like in a party setting or something.
There's one that I find particularly egregious, but I'm not going to go into it because of spoilers.
Okay.
But if you think you've come across it, you, Erin, you, Ben, or you, the listener, I would love for you to reach out to me in a way that's not going to spoil it for others, and let's see who can guess it first.
Is it a funeral?
I like how you specified the you were talking to, but ended up talking to everybody.
Yeah. I just want to be very clear.
Who may reach out to him? Everybody.
Everybody.
Well, great. I'm looking forward to watching it. I totally forgot about it. Also, I started, Ben, the audiobook of A Darker Shade of Magic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
It's very good.
I started an audiobook that you'll be excited about, Erin.
What'd you start?
Patience and Sarah.
I'm so excited. Wow, that does not look good on my audio recording. And you started the one,
The Audible one.
the Only from Audible one,
Mm-hmm.
with Gene Smart and all that.
Who narrates the Darker Shades of Magic audiobook?
Let me tell you. Narrated by Stephen Crossley.
Fuck is that?
I don't know. He's like, got this kind of accent. That's actually a pretty good representation of it. Like,
If you do say so yourself.
Do
Yeah.
they? It's just him. They don't do like a character. Fucking what's
Yeah,
it called?
just him.
Acting? Is that what it's fucking called?
Yeah.
God.
I always thought that they chose a female narrator for books written by women. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they didn't. Alright, I have another upfront thing. Just like a shout out to
Oh,
Spotify.
yeah.
For Spotify every year does like your top songs 2018 playlist. And that's a fucking jam of a playlist.
Yeah, it's
no
real
matter
good.
who you are. It's so good. It's like, here's what it is. Like, you all day you can like create a playlist and send it to your friends and be like, these are songs I like. But this is literally like the songs that you wouldn't stop fucking listening to in 2018. And it's awesome. It's just jam after jam after jam after
You
jam.
want to know
Yeah.
my favorite thing about my
ahead, Ben.
playlist?
What? That is jam after jam
That
after jam
and
after
also
jam.
because of the like Monster Mash thing that Kylie and I did whenever she was working out at night. Monster Mash is on my playlist.
Hell yeah.
It's
See,
fucking
and
great.
that's a memory
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, it's great.
Here you go. Here's all your memories. Love Spotify for the
Yeah.
whole year. And then I was like, wow, this year's been so long. I was messaging Erin earlier about how like it's amazing how much great music you can discover and forget in the course
Yes.
of 1 year.
Yeah.
But also the other day, so I after we were messaging about it, I went into Lowe's, Erin, when we were messaging about it the other day, and I put it on shuffle, and it was the first time that I had listened to it. I was meeting Ian there, and I was like having trouble not dancing through the aisles at Lowe's. And when I got into the bathroom at Lowe's, I actually did start dancing because there was nobody
Hell
in
yeah.
there. And then when I came back out, I found Ian, and I was like, telling him about how good this playlist is, and every time another song came on and I like told him how good it was, every time I realized like it's so stupid that I keep saying this because like of course I love these songs.
I know, I went through the same thing.
Yeah, same. I'd be like, oh my god, I love this. Oh, right.
Right, this is the songs I listen to the most.
Right. Okay. Yep. Got it.
And then I'd be like, why is this playlist so good? And then,
jam after jam after jam.
I also
So
had
good.
Fuck You by Lily Allen on mine, which surprised me. Wow, I fucked up that name by Lily Allen on mine. Because I didn't feel like I'd listened to that much, but I guess I did.
Yeah, I guess you did. There were one or two songs where I was like, did I listen to that a lot?
Yeah,
but and then there were some songs that I didn't listen to for a lot of days, but it was like the song I had to listen to all day, like exclusively just that song all day.
Me too, yes.
Do you know if there's any order to it? Is it like ordered by what you listen to most?
I don't know, but my top song was a B. Studwell song, so I feel like it is ordered.
I had 2
for
B.
that
Studwell
reason.
songs on mine.
You did?
Yeah.
Which ones?
I had Greens.
Greens.
And I forget the other one, and I'm looking for it. The Door.
Oh, nice.
I love
That's a
that
good one.
song. Yeah.
Both sides. So I had Hannah send me hers because Hannah and I have like really similar tastes in music, and I thought I would definitely find some really good fucking jams off of hers.
Did you listen to
So
it?
I'm excited. I started listening to it, yeah.
Do you know what's funny? I know from our discussions that your music taste kind of skews a little bit calmer than mine, and so I knew that it would be like sort of a soothing listen, so I actually listened to it when I went to bed last night.
Oh, nice.
And
I want
fell
like
right
an
asleep.
annotated list of your top songs, Anna.
What do you mean?
Like, some of these I'm like, okay, what's the history behind this one? Not, you know, it's like, if I look through mine, I can be like, if I were to give you an annotated list, I'd be like, okay, Holy Room by Somi. I fucking just love this song. I love it so
that
much.
song.
And then
That'd be the annotation for everyone.
Yeah,
but then another one is like, okay, this instrumental, it's on my list because I listen to it a lot when I need to focus at work. Okay, and then another one is like, okay, this one, I saw a concert, so I was like prepping for the concert. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. Or like, oh, this one is a family favorite. I listened to this because like it's nostalgic for me.
Yeah, or like Waters of March is like an old bossa nova song that I listened to a bunch during this like one particular week because Griffin McElroy talked about it on Wonderful.
That's exactly like, I think that was the song that I was like, okay, I think there's like,
but it's a good song.
Yeah, but I was like, I feel like there's like a, you know, like I want you to annotate your list just like
did
that.
you guys look at like the whole Spotify end of year wrap up thing for you?
Yeah.
Who was your top artist?
B.
Fucking guess. I haven't looked, but I assume.
Mine was Nujabes.
And Kylie, right?
Yes.
How do you find this? Can I do it on my
no,
phone?
You just like Google Spotify rap or like Spotify end of year thing.
Okay,
That'll probably
I have a
work,
question.
honestly. Spotify Wrapped 2018.
I got a question about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know the part where it says what your favorite musical subgenre is?
Yes.
What did yours say for that?
I don't remember, but I can look right the fuck now.
Because the one that it gave me, I've never heard of and I don't know what it is. And I find the picture that goes with it kind of disturbing.
Oh.
It's called Escape Room.
But
hang on. I'm taking a screenshot so I can show our listeners what I'm about to show you. I don't know what it means or what it is or why it thinks it's my favorite subgenre.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's very disturbing.
I know.
Oh, mine was Chill Hop. What the fuck is Escape Room?
I don't know.
So shout out. If you haven't checked that out, check it out because it's going to be the best playlist of your life.
It will be. It'll be full of jams. Hey, actually, I have one more thing because I will be trimming a lot of that out anyway. I wanted to upload a photo for you guys and ask you where you think it was photographed.
Okay.
So Ian's been making ornaments, as I was telling you about, as part of his Professor Lumberjack project. And okay, tell me,
Hannah, I already know the answer to this. I'm cheating.
Oh, okay, Erin.
You have sugared a Christmas tree. It looks like it's been taken outside. Here's what I think. It looks like it's taken outside on a snowy day. It looks great. It looks like you have found a Christmas tree in the snow and put an ornament on it and taken a picture of it.
Well,
But I think you maybe sugared a Christmas tree and then took a picture of it.
no, I'll tell you what we did. We went to the fake Christmas tree section and the Christmas decor section at Target.
Oh.
And we took a picture at every kind of tree. I have
I love this so much.
I have ones with rainbow lights. I have ones with white lights. I have ones with just the bare tree.
Yes.
And I have one with a white tree. This one's nice too. Although I think it's a little washed out, but here's one with rainbow lights. And it was great because it was like really like Ian was like really nervous about it. And then
Lawful good.
yes.
Yeah, I feel that.
And then,
I got a little bit. I was picking up on that.
Oh my god, did we talk about D&D yet?
Oh, no, you
Have we
haven't.
talked about it on pod?
not since we started.
We mentioned last week that we would be playing D&D like when the pod was coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right,
Which
yeah.
we weren't. Because
we played D&D and it was fun as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. It was a good time. I wish we could have played longer, but we can play longer next time, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
For sure.
And we played for like 4 hours. But
And
it was
big shout outs to our DM who did a really good job.
Yeah, that was really fun.
He's
Yeah,
on top of
producer.
his shit.
Should we tell the people what we're doing right now? What we're in the middle
It's a
of trying to
fucking
solve?
murder mystery.
It's fun.
We got our asses right up into a murder investigation right away.
And then the NPCs were like, please remove your asses from the murder scene.
And then our tiefling monk just shouted at a poor halfling woman to wake her up.
Yeah.
Right after someone had been murdered outside of her house the night before. It was
That
great.
was bad. Yeah. But
Shout out to Lucas, too. I want to give a shout out to Lucas for being, like, the quirkiest player. Like, he's adding, like, so much joy and fun into our little world.
Yeah. Yeah. I was about to do the same thing. Like, I think that he brought a lot of, like, great creative energy to our first session.
Yeah, there was, like, totally a moment where Lucas's character could have been, like, really helpful. And instead he just got, like, really drunk on whiskey and mop water.
He also
really
just
funny.
is committed to looking for food in the trash rather than eating food given to him.
For free.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, we should pop in now.
Let's pop it.
All right. So, Erin, you're up first this week.
Oh.
Oh.
I have a short one. So I have been just a little bit towards the end of this week obsessed with, I just did my 30 days of songs in November, and are you laughing at me?
Yeah.
I have a lot of preamble. I know. That's just something about me.
Yeah.
Lots of preamble. I did my 30 days of songs in November, and that was fun, and that got me back into the habit of, like, writing and playing music, and I've been thinking about, like, oh, what's next? What do I want to do? And something about me is I just simply do not know how to read music. Just don't know how to do it. Yeah, just don't know how to read music at all. And have tried to teach myself on numerous occasions without much success. And so I've been working through a, like, teach yourself piano little book.
Oh, cool.
So, like, I, like, air quotes play piano. I can, like, kind of play around. Bless you. Wow.
You sneezed at the exact same time as Kylie.
Whoa.
Oh, that's so sweet. They're like a country apart, but like sneeze on the same star. You know what I mean?
Sneeze on the same star.
Is that how the phrase goes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Sneeze
great.
upon the same star. Yeah. So I can play piano. I like write. You know, my shtick is like I don't really think of myself as like a musician. I think of myself very much as like a songwriter, and so like a lot of my previous history has been like whatever I can do, whatever I can like get away with in order to like write a song, right? So it's like I took some guitar lessons, but mostly like what I play today is, you know, kind of on the more like self-taught, because I've needed to like learn more chords out of necessity to like write more songs and that sort of thing. The same with piano. I like picked up some chords on the piano because I like wanted to write songs on the piano. And so that's kind of always been driven by just, you know, doing what I can to get by to like write songs with. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of going more towards like interested in like learning how to read music and learning scales and all sorts of things. Like I don't even know any guitar scales. It's like I don't really even know, like I couldn't even list to you like chords in a key other than like what I know from just like playing what sounds good. So I kind of been wanting to like kind of sharpen that axe a little bit. And so my current obsession, I've just been having the most fun time with this like teach yourself piano book. So it's very like, you know, super basic, like a child would be doing. But it's great because it's all about like, you know, how to do it properly. And then also I'm like learning the notes and how to read music and stuff like that, with the thought of like eventually I can just like transfer that knowledge over to the guitar too. So it's good. I'm definitely at like the very beginning steps, but I know that it's something I can learn if I just practice, and probably something that once I get going, I can probably get up to speed really quickly. It's really hard though. Holy shit, it's so hard.
Learning piano?
Just the whole like learning piano and the notes. So it's like I was telling Molly today, I was realizing like there's like 3 things that you need to like internalize. It's like what the keys are, like what, you know, letter, what notes the keys are, and then what notes are, you know, the music is, you know, what those notes are, but then also like what notes your fingers are playing when you're not looking at the keys. So it's like these like 3 pieces you need to internalize and then put together to do it. And it's really hard to like, you know, I can be like, oh, I can just like play a little song, you know, and in a way that like gratifies my need to play music, but to like kind of go back to square one and be like, okay, no, just do it slowly at a time. Don't skip ahead. Like play your little bump, 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 you know, is also challenging, but been having fun.
Nice.
Erin, did you know I took jazz piano as a youth?
No,
I didn't know that.
I did. I took private jazz piano lessons at our grandma and grandpa's house. And
cool.
I also obviously to you guys played the French horn.
And now, of course, you can just tell by listening to me, I played the French horn.
But you would, of course, immediately know this about me.
But the thing I think is interesting, maybe this is something that's in your book, I'm not sure. But the thing I think about a lot when it comes to learning piano and learning songs on the piano, like from the music, is muscle memory. My jazz piano teacher, who was very talented, he was really insistent about like he did not want me to try to speed up on a song, like speed up the tempo on a song until I had it down solid at a very slow, like play it the slowest that I needed to in order to get the notes right. Because what matters is that your fingers learn what it feels like to play the right notes. And then you speed it up gradually. And you, basically like the minute that you play it wrong once, it's not like it's the end of the world, but it's something that you then have to repeat playing it right more times in order to erase that.
Interesting. Yeah.
So that was something that I still think about, although I don't think it applies to every other facet of life. It might just be piano and some other instruments.
Very piano specific. No, I think that could have some, you know, deep and wide
muscle memory. I don't know. It could apply to other music playing.
Yeah. I think like my issue is muscle memory because I have written lots and lots of songs on the piano and like to play it. And so the mechanism that lets me like know how to play it without knowing what I'm playing I find like I have to work against that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like reading the song and I can feel what note is next or whatever, or I'll remember it from the time before. So I won't be looking at the music and I won't be thinking about my fingering or thinking about like the notes I'm playing because I can just hop right to it. And I have to like stop myself and be like, what note am I playing? What note is it like corresponding to? So I like have to always be working against that. Like, it's not quite muscle memory. It's like more like intuition or like remembering, you know,
it's changing the habit of how you play from like relying on your gut or your musical or your like internal sort of programming to like allowing yourself to follow what's on the page because you're not used to doing that.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's been fun. I've been enjoying it. Another thing is so I've kind of as like, well, what's next? What do I want to do musically? I've like kind of created a bunch of lists of like different. Oh, we're getting a Como butt close up.
Total Como butt.
That is nice. I've created like a list of like various things I want to do to kind of like enhance my skills in my music and kind of push my music forward a little bit. In addition to becoming like more, in the same vein of becoming like actually more of a musician proper. I have terrible sense of time. Hannah can attest to this. I just really, really don't have a really practiced sense of time. Like if I'm playing a song, I'll feel like I'm totally keeping a consistent tempo and then I'll listen back and it's just all over the fucking place. But I was reading about it and that's just totally something you can practice and like get better at. And so this is also a way to like, I have my metronome. I play all my songs to my metronome. It's just like playing with the metronome will help you like hone your internal sense of time. So that's also something that I'm looking forward to enhancing through with this process. So it's like feeding 3 birds with 1 scone. I'm like learning to play the piano better, which will teach me other musical things, which will also enhance my guitar playing. I'm learning to read music, which has been a goal of mine for so long, and also like improving my sense of internal time. So
that's great.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
You're kind of doing,
and then there'll be 3 fed birds with 1 scone at the end. Sorry, Hannah, what were you saying?
You're kind of doing, like, the reverse of what most people do.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah. I know.
But it's good. I mean,
I
think... Did you take guitar lessons, though?
Yeah, when I first started, I took guitar lessons, but I never practiced. And then, really, like, I remember the moment I was angry at my parents for something, and I was in my room, and I was kind of, to be a dick, I was, like, playing my guitar really loudly, just, like, a chord that I knew, and then I was like, this is, like, really channeling my rage. And that was, like, the moment that I was like, I'm gonna write songs, and so it was I kind of, like, abandoned my guitar lessons. Like, I did take guitar lessons, which got me on the kickstart, but, like, I practiced not because I was, like, practicing guitar, but because I was, like, writing songs. Mm-hmm. So I'm, like, really selectively lazy. Like, I think I don't know how to read music because I'm lazy. but it's, like, I have to be, like, motivated by something, and it's hard to be motivated by, like, if you can just, like, do what you want to do, if you can accomplish your goal without the discipline part. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
That's like my laziness, and so I'm now trying to find that and have that motivation to actually do the discipline part.
That's a really interesting insight on your personality. I feel like that's a wide-reaching insight on your personality. Like you're not driven by what's the way that people say is the best way to do X thing. You're driven by like what's my end goal and what's the way I think is best to get there. I feel like that's been true your whole life.
It's totally like if I'm not like myself motivated by it, I will not do it. Yeah. I just like won't. I simply won't. I like have to be like personally, which makes me feel lazy. Like I used that word to describe myself recently, like to Sarah, and she was like, "You're not lazy." No. I'm like, I I am because I won't do anything that I don't want to do. You know?
I think that's just healthy.
Well, it's like, I don't know. I feel like in college, I went through this phase where I simultaneously realized that, like, I had been completely driven by not wanting to disappoint other people. And alternately to that, I was never going to succeed in another class again in my life if I didn't take classes that I was deeply personally interested in. Like, those two things, those two realizations happened to me at once because I was about to, like, fail out because nobody noticed when I didn't go to class. So I was like, why would I go to class? And then,
right. Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, wait, because there's learning there.
Right. Yeah. I'm also motivated externally by that.
Yeah.
By, like, somebody expecting you to be there.
Yeah. But then I've heard other people say, people who maybe even were sitting near me at Thanksgiving, that that was a very demotivating thing for them.
Yeah.
That they did better in college because they no longer had someone looking over their shoulder. So it takes all types.
It really takes all sorts. Yeah. Yeah. So I would amend the word lazy. I don't think I'm lazy.
You're not lazy.
I think I have a tendency towards being undisciplined, and that's something that I would like to get better at. So I think this is like, to me, learning to read music would be the ultimate, like, beacon in my life of, like, I can surmount this, like,
discipline.
What feels like an unsurmountable part of my personality, which is, like, I just, like, don't know how to read music. Like, how stupid is that? How many times have I begun to try to learn how to read music? Just so many.
I think you maybe have a little bit of a problem with authority is part of it. Why you don't? Just a little.
I don't know.
Erin doesn't like it when I try to psychoanalyze her on the show. I'm sorry.
No, that's not true. I don't think that's...
It's because she has
like
a problem with authority.
I think I had... We can get it. This is just, like, such a fucking tangent. I think I have bristled a lot at, like... There's a whole bag of shit here. Like, I've... Like, you know, when I was, like, trying to do music as, like, a thing,
mm-hmm.
I bristled a lot at the whole... I don't know. Again, I think it just comes back around to... You got to find things in your own way,
mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's.
I totally think there's nothing wrong with, like, if I can't see the utility of doing this thing, then I'm not going to learn it. But I do think that I think that the first time that you learn a song that you really, like, give a shit about because you got the sheet music, you know, that you're going to be like, oh, wow, this is actually a really useful thing. But like, it hasn't ever been that useful for you because you don't, like, do covers, or if you have, you've, like, just figured them out, you know?
Right. Or you have the chords for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think about that, like, how cool it would be to get I actually think about, like, getting the Hamilton, like, piano book and, like, sitting down with that and being able to play those songs. Like, read that music and play those songs and, like, learn things about the music that I can't know until I, like, have these skills. Like, sounds really cool.
I feel like when I was younger...
Oh,
sorry. Did you say something?
No.
I feel like when I was younger and I was kind of, like, teaching myself piano, I already knew how to read music. And so I kind of did it by, like, finding sheet music online and learning to actually, like, play the songs. And I feel like knowing how to read music, like, made it feel... less insurmountable to, like, learn a song you really like, because, like, it's when you're just listening to it, it can sound so, like, complicated and, like, I'll never be able to do that. But then you just, like, look at the, like, notes on a page and it's like, oh, they're all, like, everyone writes it the same way, and, like, it's just you know, you play these notes at this time. Like, I don't know, it just made it a lot more accessible, I feel like, for someone who was, like, just starting out.
Yeah.
Not that you're just starting out.
It's like a whole new world we'll be able to. And also, I'm excited about, like, once I learn those skills and how to read music and, like, music theory stuff, I can start, like, writing more interesting songs and composing things in really interesting ways. Like, it's just gonna, like, open the doors to, like, what I can do with my own music, like, just by learning this tool.
That's so true.
Yeah.
You can write parts for other people rather than just having to try to teach them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can focus on, like, instrumentation, like, really...
Yep.
Focusing on new things I've never really focused on before.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's me.
Great obsession, Erin.
Thanks.
Very worthy endeavor.
Mm-mm.
Uh,
Look at this.
Huh?
I only have update 16 ounces of water left.
You'll never drink that.
You'd never drink that. I'd never drink that.
Hey, Ben. Ben,
Yeah.
what's your obsession?
What's up,
I
Ben?
have 1.5.
Oh,
Ooh.
Well, it's more like I have one and an honorable shout out.
okay.
Nice.
Let's
do
do
those.
the one first. So, continuing on the trend of Kylie should just be a host on this show. I'm stealing one from Kylie again.
Could she move to the Northwest? And then she could be the fourth host.
But then I wouldn't have any obsessions because I couldn't steal them from her.
Yeah.
I feel like I maybe mentioned this on the pod before, but she just watched the She-Ra reboot on Netflix a couple weeks ago, and she loved it so much that she like immediately wanted to rewatch it for me, or with me rather, and well, I said for me because
Be a host. I haven't watched it. She watched it twice, once for her, once for me.
well, honestly, she hates rewatching things generally, like really cannot stand it. So it's like a real testament to how good it is that not only is she willing, but she was actively trying to rewatch it right away with me. So it's so fucking good. Did either of you ever watch the original She-Ra or watch He-Man? Just like related to it.
Oh,
Negatory.
it's like literally related to He-Man.
Yes.
I thought that was just a coincidence, a cultural
What's
coincidence.
the Ra part? Like she is to he as Ra is to man?
I don't know. I honestly don't
not the
know the like
SATs.
relationship between the two shows that well. That is weird though.
Yeah. What'd you say, Hannah?
I said it's not the SATs. It's cartoons.
Okay, look.
He is to man as she is to
Raw.
Ra.
No, she is to he as Ra is to man.
Well, that's equivalent, is what I said.
Oh, sorry.
Tell us what it's about, like, roughly.
Cut my part
Okay.
out. Cut that dumb part out.
So,
Sorry.
there's this land planet. I don't know if it's a planet or like the continent.
Land planet.
Land
Land.
planet.
There's this land.
It's called Etheria. And there's a bunch of kingdoms on it, but they're all pretty much all ruled by princesses who all have like superpowers basically. They're called the Princesses of Power, which is why the show is called She-Ra and the Princesses of Power.
Ah.
And there's this like evil army like group thing called the Horde that is trying to take over the world. And years ago, like before the events of the show, there was an alliance of the princesses that then got like disbanded when there was like a big they lost a big battle against the Horde and then decided to like disband and protect their own kingdom separately rather than do it as an alliance. And the show is about basically them trying, or She-Ra and the other like two main characters, Glimmer and Bow, trying to get the Princess Alliance back together. But the really cool thing is that the like premise of it is that She-Ra, who is actually like a mythical kind of hero, is like channeled, or I guess like there's this character named Adora, who's the main character of the show, who like becomes She-Ra when she like channels the power of Grayskull or whatever through this magical sword. Mm-hmm. And Adora grew up as a soldier of the Horde, but not because she just basically, I mean, it hasn't like happened in the show yet, like explained why she was there, but you pretty much assume she was like kidnapped or something as a young child, and then raised to be a Horde soldier. So she doesn't know that they're evil. She like thinks what they're trying to do is like bring order and peace to the world. And then in like the first episode ends up meeting Glimmer and Bow and realizing the horrors that the Horde are committing and their atrocities, and also figures out that she's like a princess. What? She's like also a princess? She's She-Ra? What? And then
What?
and so she switches sides. But she still like has like a very
She plays for the other team. Is that what you're saying?
well, the show's like super gay. It's pretty great.
Yes.
There's like,
is this a cartoon?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's so, and it's like, it's just like whenever anyone, I mean, I think we actually have
Holy
talked
shit,
about this
these
with She-Ra
pictures.
specifically, but like,
There's just like rainbows and like
it's amazing. It's amazing. It's so, it's not only is it super gay, it's super
Great
diverse. Like they
haircuts.
changed one of the main characters. Bo in the original one is like a white guy with red hair with like a dumbass mustache, and he's just like a young black kid in this who's like super cool. And they have like all different kinds of body types and all the princesses. It's not just like, because if you look at the original She-Ra, Kylie pointed this out to me, like all of the princesses are just like the same woman with different clothes. Like they're literally exactly the same, and they're like all different. The character design is super super cool, and the animation's really good too. And I just like whenever people, we've talked about this before, but it's so fucking stupid. Whenever anyone's like, "Oh, I hate when people just try to like put in like gay people or like black people or other ethnicities just for the sake of it." Like, just for the sake of having them there, it's like, it's like, it's just people, that's how people are. And it's like, it's a good thing when people get to see themselves in shows and see themselves be like really bad.
People just like have white dudes in everything. Just
yeah,
for the fucking sake of it.
exactly. Like,
yeah.
it's so dumb, but they do such a good job of just like representing everybody in that show in a really sweet way. And like She-Ra, when Adora becomes She-Ra, she grows by like 2 feet and becomes super muscly. She's just like cool to have a muscly like woman main character in anything ever.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Yeah, this looks so good.
It's so yeah, it is. There's a prom episode, and and fucking Catra, who was Adora's best friend in the Horde, goes to the prom in a fucking tux. It's the best, and they dance, and it's so gay. It's great.
Hell yeah.
I've seen that picture.
It's just the best. It's really really good. I'm
Is
almost
there
done
any,
with
like,
it.
actual romance? Is this like a show for kids or a show for grown-ups?
It's a show for kids.
So there's no like kissing.
No.
There's no like first base. What's first
No.
base anymore?
I mean, I don't think so. I thought it was making out, isn't it?
I don't think the kids these days even kiss with their lips. I don't know.
They kiss with their fucking phones.
They just text each other. They just text each other pictures of their lips. I don't know.
I haven't gotten to the end, so maybe there is at like the end. But there's some moments where you're like, kiss.
Kiss. Nice.
That's
I
wonderful.
feel like there was something else I wanted to say about it. Maybe that's it. It's really good.
She-Ra.
Everyone should watch it.
Okay.
I know I mentioned this last time. I always remember saying these words, but the showrunner on this reboot is Noelle Stevenson, who is the author of a graphic novel that Kylie and I both really love called Nimona. And she's like 26, I think, and already has a show on Netflix and has won 2 Eisner Awards, which are like the Oscars for comic books.
Wow.
Just like prolific. And she was also a guest on Critical Role once or twice, so that's cool. Crossover.
She seems cool.
Damn.
Yeah, she's dope.
She's a creator and showrunner. I guess showrunners usually are the creators.
Not all the time, but she just made it. She made it.
She's also the executive producer.
Yeah, she made it.
Nice. Oh, she's engaged to a person called Molly.
Aww.
Called Molly.
She's engaged to a person who claims their name is Molly.
Hey, I know the one and only true Molly. So. I know her.
She lives here.
I know her.
Well, that sounds great. I've been hearing about it, but I haven't watched it.
You should. It's really good, and you'll want to watch all of it in one go.
Okay.
I probably will.
And then my shout out is to the Adventure Zone, which I'm almost done. Well, I'm almost done with the first campaign now. I'm like on the last few minutes of the last episode before the 3-episode finale.
Of the 11th hour?
The Stolen Chapter.
Or
the Stolen Century, rather.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's so fucking good. I literally started crying on the way home from school today listening to it. Because it's like, you like do not expect, when this show starts, you do not, it's just like a silly D&D podcast. Yeah. And then it just like grows, and the story is so good. And I didn't realize how much of it Griffin had been planning, like, pretty much since the fucking beginning.
I know.
It's wild.
I'm like, so excited this has happened to you. And I've got our cousins I've got our cousins watching Terrace House. I'm like so happy about all this media, but
you're taking over the Brown. I'm
so excited. Because I've been trying to explain
been planning
this
since birth.
Yes, exactly. I've been trying to explain this to people for like literally over a year now. Like how it's like, listen, you're gonna listen to it and you're gonna be like, this is very funny, and then by the end you're gonna be like, oh. One time Justin described it as like I think a school bus that learned to fly or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really what it feels like. Like you really don't. Nobody knows what they're in for when they get on.
And there are like some of like later on, Griffin does. It's something I think that's pretty unusual for like Dungeons and Dragons or DMs in general, where he does like sort of cutscenes in the show that are just him narrating, and always amazed by how well written and like poignant a lot of them are. Like he genuinely is a really, really good writer.
Yeah.
And the story he put together is so good.
Yeah. It's so good.
So, remind me if Ben were to be talking me into trying to give this a go. Where's a good place to start? Should I just start from the frickety beginning?
Yep.
Did you start from the beginning, Ben?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any advice for Erin about starting from the beginning? Because you've done it.
There's so many of them.
Well, there's
69.
There's only 69 in the first campaign.
Yeah.
Nice. There's also so the first episode in particular is really long because it's like them kind of figuring out how to play D&D, but they released like an episode 1.5, which is like a super cut.
I did see that
has like basically just the important stuff, which I guess is a good place to start. But it gets so good. It gets so good, Erin.
What was your favorite arc, Ben?
Honestly, might be the Stolen Century. I like the system that they're using for it. Oh. It's really interesting.
See, I love the Stolen Century for the exposition of it and how well it set the stage for the final thing. But I know a lot of people who really didn't like it. I mean, not a lot of people that found it to be kind of like boring comparatively. But I thought it was, I don't know.
I enjoyed it.
I liked it. Yeah.
I like the 11th hour a lot too.
Me too. I really like the Crystal Kingdom as well.
Yeah.
And then I always forget about Murder on the Rockport Express, but it's quite
That's a really
good.
fun one.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's like, that's when you're like, okay, this is a funny podcast.
We just listed like most of the arcs.
I know. I really don't like Pedals to the Metal. That's like the only one that I'm just like not that into.
And then there's like ones that they're releasing pretty recently.
Yeah. They have other campaigns after.
Yeah.
So you're almost done. You're almost done the first campaign. You're not almost done.
Yeah.
Like, to the most recent, to the day.
Correct. I'm almost done to August of 2017.
So they've done this campaign over several years.
Well, they
release it like every 2 weeks.
Yeah. So the first one they finished right around the time that we recorded our first WayTooBroad. So because
it was the inspiration for it, actually. Remember?
I do.
Man, we inspire those guys.
And then
the other way around.
and then what they started doing, they did like a it had a conclusion to it, so they didn't want to stop doing the podcast, so they tested out a few things and sort of did some mini arcs, and then they decided on which one they were going to go with, and they've been doing that ever since. And that one is good, and it's starting to build more of a story, and Griffin is the DM in it again, so I'm confident that it will be very well written and intricate, because he has even more time now. He was doing that while he was still working at Polygon, and he had he was like not low level at Polygon. He was like doing a lot of stuff over there. I don't know where he found the time.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, you guys should go to Discord right now and look at the thing Kylie just linked.
Oh, okay. Has she been listening to it too?
No.
She was listening to it though.
Yeah, she kind of stopped, but I've been telling her to get back on her shit. I'll re-listen to it. Honestly, after I want to listen to it again after.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
Like knowing how everything goes.
Every time I talk to someone about it, I want to listen to it again. Every time I read anything about it.
Oh, that's some good gay fan art.
Right?
I'm in the wrong Discord.
The Catcher one is especially saucy.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, saucy! Oh, yeah, I see that tongue.
Wait, let me see.
Oh, she's biting her lip.
Ooh,
I didn't notice that.
Muscles. Look at those
She
muscles.
actually looks that muscly in the show
Whoa.
too.
Wow. These are solid.
Oh,
These are real nice.
Holy. I guess I'll have to link
That's some
these.
good gay tent.
Or we'll have to... Should I cut this out, or should we link to these?
I think we should link to them. They're pretty dope.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like I should bring this up just because Kylie and I say it to each other all the time while we're watching the show. There's I forget who, someone tweeted this hilarious thing that just, the tweet was just, let Catra say fuck in season 2. And I think that's I saw it before I started watching it, and then once I met Catra, it became so fucking funny to me, and I think it will for you too.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind. Just keep let Catra say fuck in season 2 in mind while you're watching She-Ra.
Aye, Captain.
Will do. Is that
That's
part
it.
of the homework? Okay, cool. Great one. Great content.
Good one. Good Ben.
Good Ben.
Thanks.
Anna, what's you?
Mine's real quick. So I've been doing a lot of stuff, as with you guys in the last few weeks, I've been doing a lot of stuff that I've already talked about, like dipping some dots and watching Mrs. Maisel and watching Critical Role. We're slowly catching up on that.
Hell yeah.
And really liking it a lot. But Ben, do you know why they have some weird rivalry with Will Wheaton? Is that a joke?
I think it's something from the first campaign. I'm pretty sure he was on. He was in the first campaign.
Maybe as an evil character or something.
Maybe.
Did
you get to the episode that had the guest? Kari Payton or whatever.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I had no idea what that joke was at the end either.
Yeah, I was like, because they seemed kind of serious about it.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird because they're on the same network. But then the other thing we just saw before I came in here was the episode where Marisha tries to just turn away to sneeze away from the table and seemingly has broken a rib.
Yeah. That was really sad.
Yeah, she was just nursing a just a really hurt side and seeming to have trouble breathing through the whole rest of the episode. I didn't finish that one yet, so maybe she didn't make it.
Good Lord.
Yeah. But I think she probably was fine. I don't know, but I assume because I've seen her on Twitter. So,
yeah, she's fine now.
Oh yeah, she's probably fine.
Yeah,
then.
she's fine. But something new that I discovered this week that I've been really interested in, kind of the potential for, is a website which is called podchaser.com.
Oh yeah.
I sent a link to you guys earlier this week, but I want to give them a real shout out because there are a lot of websites that are trying to be an alternate for for iTunes as far as reviews for podcasts and like finding podcasts and stuff. They're doing them to like varying success levels, and this one is still in beta, actually, Podchaser. But what I like about Podchaser is that that's not the only thing that they're doing. It seems to me like the goal for Podchaser, just like coming in as a podcaster and looking around, is really to give podcast fans and podcast creators like some access to like the level of sort of, I don't know, like built-in sort of framework for sharing that other more established media already have. Like they have a creators section, which they just came out with, which is what I was linking to you guys about earlier, which you can create a profile for yourself as a person who participates in creating a podcast. And the reason they use the word creator is it doesn't just have to be hosts. It can be editors, producers. Like it can be a way for networking, just for what people are able to do. But it also is a way that, like for me, so I made a profile for myself, and I added, you know, that I host and I edit this, and I host So Dreamy, and I added the show that we recently guested on, which was but yeah, and you know, you can add by episode. So I like picked the episodes, and the interface is really easy to use, and it kind of gave me, on a personal level, looking at like my creator profile and looking at all the recent episodes that have come out like just since Thanksgiving that I've been a part of, like it really gave me a sense of like accomplishment. Like sometimes when you're making podcasts, it can feel like you're just like talking into a void and then like uploading it and paying like $15 a month for the privilege of doing that. But this, now it's sort of like a way to look back and say like, look at, there's actually been output for like the work and time that I've put into these shows. And there's actually now a place where I can go back and remember, and I can show other people like, here's what I've been up to. You know, I don't have to just like store all this information in my brain, you know, when other things come up and stuff, you know, it'll all be there. You know, and then also another thing, I haven't made one yet, but another thing I'm really interested in on this website is a capability called lists, which is literally just like you can make lists of any
Ooh.
But it's kind of like a playlist, but for podcasts, basically. So,
cool.
So you can make it and then share it, and you can have it. You can either make lists of like entire podcasts, like if I wanted to make a list of like all the like the Bambino podcasts that I know about, I could do that. If I wanted to make a list of like my favorite episodes of our show, or episodes of our show about certain topics or certain themes, I could do that. It could be a way to like share just your favorite episodes ever. Like I could just start keeping a running list of like really outstanding, exceptional, just like podcast episodes, period. You know, it could be all of those things. Like it has as many possible, you know, functions as a music playlist would, because you can get it down to the episode level.
This is really disrupting the internet and website in general with this list concept.
Yeah.
I also like this kind of overview makes it look like so impressive. It's like appearances, WayTooBroad, host, editor, 128 episodes. Yeah. I saw that at first. I was like, wow, we really have been doing this for a long time.
Why does it say 128 episodes?
Because it's aggregating your host and your editor, which is stupid because of course you would. It's just like their dumb thing. If you click in, it like breaks it up, but that aggregation is like kind of stupid.
It is stupid. I don't see it. I don't even see WayTooBroad. Oh yeah,
it's on your profile. Yeah, you have
it.
to scroll the fuck over.
Yeah, that's dumb. That seems like that's something they'll fix, being that it's in beta.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I just think it's neat.
This is another platform where people can rate us.
Yep.
And review us, and then get a sticker.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know what?
That's nice.
Another
I like
thing
that.
is that I don't love about it is that when you actually go to the page for WayTooBroad, as far as I can tell, it doesn't list my name anywhere. So it wouldn't list yours either. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't list who the associated creators are anywhere that I can see. Because that would be nice, you know.
Which is a little weird.
Yeah, because you should be able to... Maybe it does it on the episode level? Show more. Nope. They should add that because that would be nice, because then if you really liked a show, or if you liked an episode of a show or something and you liked the guest, then you should be able to like click into that episode, click on that guest, and go see what else they do.
Because that's the whole point.
It's like pretty much the whole point.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
You're just jealous because I called out a website that isn't WayTooBroad.com or www.erinben.com.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
I'm jealous because I wrote like 2 perfect, beautiful sites that have everything you want and need, respectively.
And I still went looking for more. That's why
I'm not jealous. They're in their own lane. They like. I can't be jealous of them. They have lists. Okay, I can't compete with that. I can't be jealous. They're playing in a different league.
The list league.
With that list. Oh my god. I don't even know how to begin to write a list on a website.
All right. I'm just saying that's go write us a review there. That's all.
I'm just saying that.
No, I was saying that. I said
You're
that.
You're saying it, and I'm saying it.
We're speaking with one
We're
voice.
all saying it. Ben, are you saying it?
Nope, I hate our listeners. Don't even talk to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody's
Don't
got
worry,
to.
they don't. They don't.
I have to be the bad cop.
Yeah.
That's right.
And if you're listening to this and you are a podcaster, because I know some do, I would encourage you, if you haven't yet, to go make a profile or a creator profile for yourself, and maybe a list. I know you're intimidated by the concept of lists, probably.
Is there like a guide on how to like what a list is and how to make it? Because it's like no one's gonna have done that before, so they might need like some guidance.
Probably, yeah.
That's nice.
Nice, yeah. Cool. So yeah, that's all I have. I'm about halfway done with my Dippin' Dots painting, so I have no time
I'm
for
excited
anything
to see the finish.
Dippin' Dots.
I wanted to do a water check and how's everybody's water levels?
Empty.
How about you, Hannah?
Just finished it.
Empty.
Yeah, guess what? I still have.
Oh my God.
What's that? That's about like, I don't know, 14 ounces left.
You'll never drink that.
I'm trying to get through this, but I'll never drink this.
It's starting to sound more daunting and less optimistic.
It's just not going to happen for me.
I tried.
All right.
I've accepted that.
Should we do homework?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Erin, what's your homework?
Learn to read music, Erin.
That's it. What's your Twitter?
My Twitter's at Erin Byrne. I review lesbian movies at LesbianMovieReviews. Speaking of that, both of those things, in order to like aid in my goals of like choosing to play music or like learn the piano or like read a book, I have deleted from my phone Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Wow.
So my phone is simply a vessel for music and texting now. So
Wow.
I'm excited.
As the
to
Lord
begin-
intended.
as the Lord intended. And I have a guitar tuner on there and a metronome. So that's something about me. So don't be sliding up on my DMs because I simply won't see them. Not because you're not invited, but because I'm just not going to see it until like a few days later. So, and on Instagram, who knows when. Next time I need to post a lesbian movie review.
Yeah, because Instagram like doesn't really have a website that works for Instagramming.
Right.
Really?
I can't.
I don't understand that.
I don't think I can like do an Instagram through the website.
You cannot.
For
you can
real?
only look at others' Instagrams. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And your own.
That's weird.
It's so weird.
So it's so weird.
Yeah.
I still don't have an Instagram. I don't think I want one because Facebook owns Instagram.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't looked at Instagram in like more than 24 hours. It's been fine. I am here to tell the tale. So
I like Instagram because there's a lot of soap cutting videos.
yeah. Did you see that video I sent you?
Yes. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
But
What do you think? Are you like, okay, I sent Hannah this video of like somebody doing a Dippin' Dot with like a quarter. It was like a shilling. I don't know what it was.
it was a penny farthing.
A halfpenny will do.
It was somebody using a halfpenny too, or something. It was a coin.
What?
Okay,
Yeah, I
I should have
get that.
just said coin. They were using a coin.
What? For like
Like a
the...
British coin or Canadian coin. I don't remember.
They were using the coin for like putting the dots on?
Yeah, they had like, it was like on a little rolly, and they like rolled up a bunch of dots
Oh,
into a row, and it was really satisfying. And I saw it, and I was like, "That's a Dippin' Dot." And I sent it to Hannah, who
Is
didn't
Hannah
reply,
just
which made me feel like
sharing it?
she's a purist. I feel like she's a purist.
Wait, Hannah, show it again?
Here's the thing about this video, okay? It's not.
knew
I
it.
think the roller,
I knew it.
the rolly
I
thing
knew it.
looks really convenient. But do you see how well arranged those dots are in that tray?
Yeah, I know.
That
would never happen.
would take. You'll never do that. You'll never drink
Never do
that.
that. I'll never do that.
Because it's like they go everywhere. They like have like static electricity all like you saw how they always were in that little tray.
Yeah.
So that alone.
I knew she didn't respond because she had some like, she was like scoffing at it in some way. Like she wasn't like, ooh, that like tingles my bingles. I felt like she felt some like snooty way about it, and that's totally fine. I didn't know.
Classic
I don't know what
Hannah.
I'm talking about. I just like, it's like when people are like have a hobby and they're like, I got you this thing I think is related, and it's not because you're like on another level, and you're like, oh my god, it's like you're Dippin' Dots, and I got you like a paint by numbers, and you're like, okay, I'm on this level that this is not on.
No,
So-
it looks really handy. I feel like it wouldn't be worth it for me to because that tray's
It wasn't
lot
a
bigger.
suggestion. That, if you know, that's like one of those satisfying Instagram accounts
Yeah.
where it's supposed to just like tingle your bangles.
Yeah. Tingle your bingles. Bingle your tigers.
What is your homework, Ben?
Aren't? Oh, I thought you already did yours. Okay, yeah. Wow.
Wait, I thought you already did yours. Yep.
No. Mine is to watch She-Ra and the Princesses of Power on Netflix. And also listen to the fucking Adventure Zone.
Okay.
It's good.
Yes, please.
Also,
do
go
it.
to my fucking Twitter. Nicely proved Ben. Como Pictures. On the reg. We're visiting a kitten at her foster home next weekend. Possibly adopting her. So look out for that. It wouldn't be till the end of this month, though. At least. So that's it. Have a good night.
Next weekend, and then we're gonna be there on the 28th. So she could be there.
Probably not,
Why not?
because she's not getting spayed till the end of the month.
But we'll be there until the next weekend.
Yeah, but we also like don't want to get her on a weekend where we have a bunch of people that aren't us in the house all the time.
Ben.
He doesn't want her to meet you.
Yeah, apparently not. I had a dream that you had 3 cats by the time we got there.
Wow.
So-
That's probably not going to happen.
How many mugs do you have, Ben?
3.
Hey, you got another
I
mug.
did. I got.
They're gonna grow exponentially
I got-
at this
I
point.
got
don't
a
you know?
little-
I guess it's like factorial at this point.
I got
Yeah,
a mug that
you'll
looks
have
like a
5
stack
by
of
next
donuts. I'm gonna get them in a Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah.
So you'll have
5 next
4
week.
next 5. Yeah, 5 next week.
Yeah.
So make sure you tune in until the very end next week again for next week's mug watch.
Hashtag mug watch.
Hashtag mug watch.
2018.
Yeah. Almost 20.
Hashtag bigger cup for Ben. What was that hashtag?
Oh gosh. I'll find it.
Hannah, what's your homework?
My homework is go to podchaser.com and write us a review and give us a rating on it. And then if you're a podcaster, go make a profile for your dang self and tag all the shit that you do. And it's really, really easy. And try to orient yourself to the idea of lists is my other homework.
Okay.
Okay.
Erin, do you always say okay during both of our homeworks?
No, but I just decided to. Do you feel heard?
I do.
Yeah.
I feel really listened to. And then also my Twitter is at Hanthropology on Twitter. And
Okay.
Department of Redundancy Department.
And I have another podcast called So Dreamy. We talk about dreams and stuff. I did record that dream where here's what happened in that dream, Ben. Here's a little preview for you. You rudely left me in a lobby for most of a day when we got there. And
you stayed in there? You stayed in the lobby?
Here's what happened. We got there and Kylie and Ben brought us food from like a convenience store. We ate outside at the convenience store. And then in a gas station parking lot, basically. Then they took us into their apartment building and left us in the lobby while they went and did stuff. They told us to put our luggage in another person's apartment. They didn't know them. It's just the door was open. So they were like, put your stuff in there. And we can come back for it later. It'll still be open. And then these really aggressive girls showed up and they beat me up. And then I called Ben to ask him what floor he lived on. And he genuinely did not know. So I had to go wandering around until I found his apartment.
Ben, you're a dick.
Wow. That was my exact plan for when you visit.
But then when I got there, you had 3 cats. And one of them was a tiny orange kitten. It was so cute.
So all was forgiven.
And then, so that's my homework. And here is the homework from the podcast, the fourth host, the podcast. You can call us if you want to leave us a voicemail and tell us, like, maybe you could do your, if you live in the northwestern United States, you could do your audition for being the 4th co-host for the weather section at 774-326-0420. Blaze it. There is a 3-minute limit to the audition voicemails. You can follow us on Twitter at 2BroadPod on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram. On Instagram at WayTooBroad on Instagram. I really like
I like it's like a little social media sandwich.
Yeah. It's good management. It's a management tactic when you have to give negative feedback to make a compliment sandwich. It's kind of like that. Yeah. And then you can email us.
Do you use the same compliment on both sides of the sandwich?
Yeah.
You look really nice today. Your work is terrible. You look so nice today.
Yeah, well, you use the same bread on both sides of a sandwich, so I don't know.
That is true. She has a point. If you want it to be different, don't use a sandwich analogy.
Yeah,
If you got a sandwich and one side was like white bread and one side was rye bread, you'd be like, what the fuck is the sandwich?
You know, real talk, that's something that bothers me whenever anyone says that's a something sandwich, because they always refer to it with like 2 of the same things surrounding something. And they say that's we just did it. Like, that's a compliment sandwich, but you don't refer to a sandwich by the bread. And in that analogy, the compliments are the bread.
It's an insult sandwich. Right. It's a feedback sandwich.
Right.
I feel you.
Sometimes
I like to say it's like the creamy center of a something Oreo cookie.
That's much better analogy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. It's like the feedback is the creamy center of a compliment Oreo cookie or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like that. So let's see. Go to you can email us your resume at waytoobroad@gmail.com.
On Gmail.
If you need any of those things again, if I laughed through them and you couldn't hear them, you can go to waytoobroad.com for anything that you want. You can go to www.earnben.com for anything you need. Also, please, if you leave us a rating anywhere, iTunes, Podchaser, Podknife, any old where, we'll send you a sticker. So if you do that, email us also, and once we see the review up on the thing, we'll send you a friggin' sticker. And that's it then.
That's all.
We're
done doing the podcast.
Candle is now also I got a signed CD from B. Steadwell. I didn't mention that on the podcast.
That's right.
Yeah, I just saw it. I was just looking at it. And I remember. Okay, the podcast candle is now extinguished.
We have done the podcast.
I had to blow it out manually that time.
That's like screaming with your breath. Bye.
I did it.
Blowing.
I moved the mic. Did you hear it?
No, but it just occurred to me blowing and screaming with your breath.
Blowing is screaming with your breath. Yeah. Yeah.
When you're like, you're screaming with your breath. I'm sorry.